So I'm going to story time as of today. Today's story blog is gonna be kind of weird and kind of funny and highly just like what question mark. Um, so as of now, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you guys. So a lot of you guys don't probably know my life. Um, and welcome to my life. I am doing a lovely daily blogs of story times to adventures to like hospital vlogs. Yeah, hospital vlogs. That's a big question mark for all of you guys. Yeah, I'm gonna be on and off going to the hospitals a lot. The reason why a lot of you guys don't know this is because for me, a lot of people don't know this. I basically have a problem with my kidneys, and I go see a kidney doctor. And basically, what's wrong with my kidneys is that they're basically not functioning on their own, meaning that my kidneys just don't hardly work at all, almost. I have to take medicine to make them function so I can clear out my bladder and like other stuff because like it's really unbearable to like not have it cleared out, so I had to do that. And I also have heart problems. I don't know if you guys do know this. Some of you guys probably don't. I live with aortic stenosis, meaning that the valve is half open, half closed, but it's very closed, and it causes heart functions of arrhythmia. And arrhythmia is very highly, almost dangerous. The reason why is because your heart really squeezes really tight and it releases, but it goes way faster than it should be. I have SPAS, meaning that my arteries and veins are very tiny and narrowed. So I can only feel one in my entire body, and that's in my well, I can only actually feel two is my in my neck, in my arm, this arm. I cannot feel it in my left arm because my left arm is pretty messed up, and I'll tell you guys what. It's kind of weird and kind of scary. But so let me go ahead and explain all my life to you guys, because I feel like there's gonna be a lot of questions that all of you guys have. So I know number one question is like, what's your life like? Okay, my life is like insane, adventurous, nerve-wracking, pretty insane. I basically go travel to a lovely city to go visit my dad, and I go visit my friends there because all my friends are there. So it's kind of like, pretty hard to honestly, do. It's just, like, have someone drive me around. I cannot drive. A lot of you guys were asking that question why I can't drive. Reason why I can't drive is because I have pretty much really bad heart problems. A lot of you guys don't know this. I also have bad eyesight. I am half kind of blind, basically. I pretty much don't know how to really drive at all, but I drive a golf cart. That's the only thing I know how to drive. I don't know how to really do a lot of things, basically. I'm still learning how to use a whole bunch of computer technology to, all the things. I'm still learning how to, create a whole bunch of cool stuff. I'm still learning a lot of things, for myself. I went to a special needs college, and I'll go ahead and explain the story now, because this one's a big story. So, I went to a special needs college, and the college that I went to was like right by the mall that I, technically live by. And of course, a lot of you guys probably have watched the City of Flint story on your Netflix. A lot of you guys probably have watched that. I went to a school right by there, and it was pretty okay. Like, it was a special needs school, and it was pretty okay. Like, I mean, things were pretty fun in there. Had a lot of interesting kind of like classes that were kind of very strange to me, and like, I mean, but I was like fine with all of them. But I met a guy in my school who like I ended up dating like pretty fast. He came out to the hallway and asked me to be his girlfriend, which is kind of funny because you're thinking, whoa, just on my first day of school. I dated him for a good solid year, like almost. And we we talked for a while, and we ended up getting engaged, and it was pretty like surprising to me, but it was kind of way early and way fast to me, I thought. And of course, he had the rings and stuff like that, and I was just like really kind of surprised. Um, we texted on and off for a while, like after we brought the rings, but then it turns out that he was talking to another girl, and that is pretty much just. I think she was really young. I'm not very sure, like how old she was, because I wasn't there to watch her play basketball, and that's when it kind of like threw it off. Like, what happened? So I had my friends, like my friend Devin, like he's really a sweet guy. Like I love Devin. So Devin came up to me and he was like, "Dude, come here for a minute." So then I had my friend Dallas. I had like a whole bunch of my friends like right next to me, and like it was just a very awkward like timing because like I mean really. And then like after all that, I get another surprise. My one of my exes from like years way back comes into my school, and I'm like, what are you doing here? I felt pretty awkward because not only I dated him, but he was in the same classroom as me. Bumping into an ex is probably the worst thing to go through by yourself, because a lot of times you're just like, okay, you want to, I mean, like, I was like really good friends with him still. Like, we were still good friends. And I kind of felt awkward, and I just didn't know what to do. Like, at first, like, I was pretty, like, in an awkward phase, like, with him. Like, I just felt really awkward. So, after that, things got a little way hectic, uh, with my ex-fiance and I. We, like, it was just on and off, like, flirting. He was flirting with me nonstop. So I was like, no, sorry, I can't date you, I can't marry you. I left him, and it was just, it was really bad. Like, I mean, like, all the situations were very awkward. And I remember, like, just being in school, like, right next to him. Like, I was feeling so awkward. So we had this class that we took, my fiance and I took together. And, sorry guys, we took a class together. That was a first aid class. And I remember, like, he was looking at me, like, really, well, it was kind of cute. Like, he was looking at me, like, kind of turning bright red, like, blushy kind of thing. But like, instantly, I found his pulse, like, really fast. So I knew he was really, 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 really having a crush on me at the moment. And and he couldn't find mine. So that was like very hard because my left arm is very highly the worst to try to find a pulse or a vein to get blood drawn in. So I of course have to like not use this left arm, but I do have a good vein in my hand. That's the only area that they can like poke. They can get like take blood out of me or whatever. So and like in this arm too, like I had to get poked right in the arm area, like right by the artery, which is like pretty nerve wracking because reason why you guys should not get poked like right by the artery is because like someone could hit it like instantly and probably like jab it and of course make a huge hole in it and of course like blood will squirt out. Like that's the nerve-wracking part is when I go to the doctors or like anything like that is that it's gonna happen. Like I used to have the fear of that, but one time when I got an IV it actually did happen, but it was in a vein instead of like an artery, so I was like whoa. um which is not cool, and they had to like try to um they had to flush out my IV, which is a good thing because like when you flush the IV, it brings some blood back into your body, so you're not like losing any other blood, like somewhat blood at least. But when they have to like draw blood, then yeah, you're losing blood out of your body because it's like a straw. The IV is like a straw. So let me explain that before I try to finish this weird random story. Anyway, so they, so then he comes up to me and like we talked and stuff like that, and he was like, "I didn't cheat on you." So then I got very concerned. Like my brain was not like in the right position, and before during all that, my heart rate was over like 800 miles like beats per minute. My pulse was way too fast. My brain, like my head was pounding. My body was turning weak. It was pretty bad. I didn't know if that was a sign of love or a sign of fear or a sign of really just having a bad day. I really don't know what it was. And when I went in there, I had like severe, so during all this like drama stuff, my ex fiance and I played games together. We played kickball, and I was playing kickball, and all of a sudden I was like having a hard time breathing, so I sat down, and my like heart was like really too fast, and I tried to calm it down, and like I mean it's like beating way faster than it should be. So I was trying to calm it down because I have the aortic stenosis, and I have congestive heart failure. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but I'll explain it in a minute. So basically what happened was like my heart was just like skyrocketing. So I was trying to calm it down, and everyone looked at me. I looked so pale, and they had to bring the blood pressure like monitor in, which is a cuff and a machine thing. You could do it by stethoscope, which is I'll explain to you guys how that works in a minute. But like they had to hook me up to the thing, check my BP, and it was like 162 over like 160. So my heart was like way high, rocketing than usual. So I had to go home like really early to get some like actual rest to calm it down. The next day I woke up. I was still feeling pretty shooken up from the day, so I was just like, trying to calm myself down, make sure I'm okay, like, to able to go to school, make sure I'm, like, stable. And the next thing you know, my BP was up again. Like, I mean, like, in the 100, like, 60s. My heart rate was in the 160s again. Are you kidding me? What's going on? So I'm trying to calm down my heart again, trying to calm down my blood flow, trying to stimulate, everything. And it's just not happening. And of course, like things finally went away. The next day, after checking my BP like 2 times, I got on the bus and my chest felt really tight. So I was like, am I having a heart attack? Like, I thought I was having a heart attack. And, or stroke. Like, I was really in the zone of, like, having one of those. Because I'm actually at high risk. So it's pretty hard to explain why I'm at high risk, but I'll explain it anyways. So basically, like, I have a lot of heart issues, and I know a lot of you guys are, like, wondering, like, what the heck. So, anyways, my my heart was pounding like really hard, skipping a lot, and I woke up on the bus like trying to calm it down, and my friend, she like looked at me and she's like, "Are you okay, Bailey?" And I was like, "Kirsten, like I don't even know." Like I was like, "Kiki, I don't know," like 'cause I call her Kiki, and she's like, "Are you sure you're okay? Like, are you okay?" And I was trying to breathe, and I looked so pale. Next thing you know, the bus driver's calling my mom. Everyone's like freaking out on the bus. I mean, my friend, I was so thankful for him. My friend was like right next to me, and he's like, breathe, Bailey, breathe, like, which is a really good friend of mine, like, from a lot of the childhood stuff. He was like right next to me, and he's like, yeah, your heart rate's way up, dude. So because he knew like instantly, I got like, I don't know how, but I guess he could hear it way far, like on the bus. And he's like, yeah, so your heart's like beating way faster than usual. Like, what's going on? And I'm like, I don't even know. So, of course, I went to the hospital and they admitted me. They were checking my pulse rate, my blood pressure, and heart rate all at once because they have to do that. And so it's kind of weird. What happens is like they hook you up to. I don't know if you guys have ever been inside hospital or stayed overnight or like been there with someone, but basically let me explain what they do. So when you first get there, they hook you up to a EKG. An EKG is where it's electrode stickers that go all over your body but your head. And it basically contracts of how your heart's beating. So it'll make the lifelines, which is really kind of weird. But basically what it does is like it'll tell if you're having a heart attack or stroke, if you're having arterial fiber, if you're having arrhythmia. So they were looking and none of that came up. So they're like maybe a coronary artery disease. So they're drawing blood, they're checking my blood. There was like no sign of that. So then they gave me like morphine to calm down the chest pains, and I went home. A couple months later, I decided not to go to. I quit school because of my unexpected heart problems. I quitted school and it came back. Like the arrhythmia came back, and I couldn't breathe, and I couldn't like do anything at all. I was pretty like stuck in between and trying to calm it down. My grandma was like with me this time, and I'm very lucky for this time because she checked my pulse, and she's like, yeah, your heart's beating way fast, and she said, I'm gonna call your mom because I do have really bad heart disease. I know a lot of you guys are like wondering, like, how do you handle all of that? Anyways, I'll explain that later. But my mom, she instantly like got the phone call. She said, "Go to the hospital." And I went to the hospital, and I my heart rate was 162. My blood pressure was 162 over 160. Well, I mean, oh wait, hold on. Sorry, guys. My blood pressure and heart rate were 210. Both of them were 210. And that's not a good sign. So my body was pretty much just like making my heart going insane. That's not a good sign. And they were like, they were listening to like my heartbeat and stuff, and they said, "Oh yeah, it's way faster than usual. We need to like stimulate it." So they had to give me a pill called aspirin, and aspirin is a blood thinner that opens up your heart valves and all your blood vessels to make it stimulate. Instead of going into like doing the shock in the chest area, so they didn't want to do that. So they gave me like an aspirin to stimulate my heart because it was just not doing good. And the doctor was like sending a heart surgeon in, which is like pretty nerve wracking, and because you don't know what's wrong. And they did an artery test, which is a ultrasound, and they squeeze your your leg or your arm or whatever. They do both legs and both arms and your toe. But they had to do this thing where they check your blood flow and it will make the sounds like it will pause and then release, and so it will make like your pulse doing its job. But I have to go get that test done actually in like 2 weeks. Well, actually in like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and I'm gonna take you guys on that journey with me, which is gonna be really cool. And I can't wait to show you guys what they are doing, what she's doing. Like it's gonna be kind of cool, and I'll explain to you guys what they're doing. Because a lot of you guys are gonna be like wondering what the heck are they doing to you. They're not gonna torture me, guys. Don't worry. What they're doing is that they're checking my pulse because I have very bad pulses in my body, and they are checking the blood flow. Basically, the blood flow is important to get checked on because they want to make sure that my heart's doing its job of sending the blood the right way. No, the last time I had it done, they said that my pulse was very strong, so that's an A plus for that. But if it comes abnormal or if it comes, like bad, then they're gonna talk about like surgeries and stuff, and that's gonna be like nerve wracking. So I'm also getting a CT, well, MRI scan, but I can't take you guys with me because what they're gonna be doing is it's gonna be kind of like really fast and simple. It takes like an hour, but what they are doing is they're gonna be putting me in a machine and the MRI machine. But first I have to get an IV, and they're gonna insert an IV, and the IV is gonna go into my hand or my arm, which is a good two places to put it at. And they have a machine inside the room. The machine inside the room with the bigger machine is a IV machine, and the IV machine has a medicine inside called contrast dye. And contrast dye is where it basically shoots up into all of your veins and arteries into your heart to look at all the function and to look at the size and shape and form. Same as an echocardiogram, but more different. It is pretty cool because it will show how the blood's going in and out inside of the heart walls, and it's gonna be like really cool. And I also get to see the photos to look at them. My arteries and veins are like spider webs, so I have to like be careful of like all the stuff that I have. But I'll explain to you guys in another video as of tomorrow, because there's like bigger stuff tomorrow. So I'll explain all that to you tomorrow, Monday. Tomorrow's Monday, y'all, so part 2 will be coming out tomorrow.